Hi, this is Maria Sanchez with KDTV.com. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your eyes and your ears. In studio, we are pleased to have President and CEO of the Limoneira Company, Harold S. Edwards. Harold, welcome.
Thank you
so
very
much. Thanks for joining us. We've been trying to gather the brain trust, if you will, of the county and get kind of a diverse group of folks who make this county what it is today. So obviously agriculture is a huge part of the county. We've had political leaders, another part, and then we've had entertainment folks as well. So Harold, perhaps not everybody knows, and I certainly didn't, your history with the Limoneira Company. And maybe we could start at the beginning in the late 1800s and go forward a little bit.
Sure, just cut me off if I get a little long-winded, but there's a rich history with the company, and telling the history of the company is one of the best parts of my job and what I like doing. But the history begins in the early 1860s when the very first oil was discovered in a little canyon just west of what is now the city of Santa Paula in Adams Canyon. And that oil well that was discovered in 1860 became the genesis of what eventually in 1880 became the Union Oil Company. Mm. Union Oil was founded in Santa Paula, California, and its world headquarters was in Santa Paula. And in 1893, so just 13 years after the founding of Union Oil, the founder, a gentleman by the name of Wallace Hardison, in partnership with another gentleman, Nathan Weston Blanchard, pooled $1 million of capital and formed the Limoneira Company. And I like to think about that because in 1893, you can imagine how significant $1 million of capital was.
I'm staggered to hear that. And what vision that was.
It was amazing vision, and these were gentlemen of great vision, and their vision was, at the time, to create the first large-scale plantings of citrus to provide more reliable supplies of this citrus back to the East Coast markets, which didn't have access to the fruit, and because of economies of scale and production, sometimes they had it, sometimes they didn't. So their mission was to go out and create a large-scale citrus production. The history is rich, and there's a lot of great stories involved with the history, but essentially, another part of my favorite part of the story is it took these gentlemen 15 years before they turned their first profit with their citrus production operations. So I like thinking about that today because in today's world of we got to do it now and the short-term time pressure, what were they telling the board of directors in year 15? Hang in there, we're almost there, we're going to get this done. But they stuck with it, and it was that perseverance that really set the table and was the beginning of what became a long-term value creation proposition for what became today the publicly traded Limoneira Company.
Now, you keep saying citrus, which suggests more than lemons.
Correct. So lemons were at the core of what the operations were, but the very first plantings were oranges. And we were just adding it up recently. Over the course of 118 years, the Limoneira Company has produced 163 different things.
Goodness.
Oranges, lemons, specialty citrus, row crops, flowers, bell peppers, sugar beets. The list goes on. And the point of saying that is that as the tastes and the markets of the world evolved and consumer preferences evolved with the world, the Limoneira Company has prided itself at being at the cutting edge of those changes and very innovative in providing what it is and what it was that the markets of the world demanded. At the core of what Limoneira always did, though, was a focus on agriculture and agribusiness. And today, the company is the largest avocado producer in the United States. We're one of the largest lemon producers in North America and a very large orange producer as well. But we also have rich agricultural properties that we lease out to third-party farmers, and today represent a significant part of coastal California strawberry and berry production today.
So when they had the vision and they pulled together this $1 million, they then had to plant? It wasn't just there, indigenous already?
It was open, raw land. It was wild chaparral. But the interesting thing that drew these amazing individuals to this area was the perfect weather, which we all now enjoy and know, its proximity to the ocean, which meant cool evenings because of the coastal marine influence, but the warm days and the temperate climate all through the winter. But most importantly was the abundance of water that the properties had and continue to have, And as we live in the very sensitive balance between agriculture and urban use, we pride ourselves in our stewardship with this water and how we're able to continue to gain access to it as we farm, but also work with expanding urban centers around the county.
Now, can you speak to the geography of the original purchase is what it is today, or have you acquired since?
So the company has evolved over many years, but the original two gentlemen purchased 400 acres as their first purchase, and that expanded significantly over time, mostly through organic growth, but also through opportunistic acquisitions that took place in probably the first 50 years. In 1985, there was a significant merger with another family that happened to be my family's agricultural business. My family came to Ventura County in 1880. My great-great-great-grandfather showed up in 1880 and acquired 1,300 acres between Santa Paula and Ventura. And in 1985, when the Samuel Edwards Associates, which was my family's company, merged together with the other two families that at that time was the Limonera Company, it put together what is now our main ranch, which today is approximately 3,000 contiguous acres between Santa Paula and Ventura. Today, our company is comprised of about 4,000 acres in Ventura County, 500 acres in Santa Barbara County, 700 acres in San Luis Obispo County, and approximately 2,000 acres up in the San Joaquin Valley, which is where most of our orange production exists today, in the towns of Porterville and Ducor.
And the personnel that are responsible, let's say for the hands-on, the harvesting, now they built it, and so I would assume that was attracting labor, right, in the early days. Now you have an infrastructure. So, and then in terms of, I understand you have like housing for, I mean, and that's been going on for generations?
The company's mission statement has always been to preserve and promote its history, legacy, and its heritage in agriculture, community development, and stewardship for the benefit of our shareholders. And really a big part at our company, at the Limonera Company, and historically always has been, is that we've always believed that the most important asset that we have are the people that work for the company.
Wonderful.
And so in order to sort of sustain our ongoing operations, we've looked at our human resource as the best investment that we could make. So as a result, housing our personnel has been a big part of our business plan. And so part of the byproduct of over 100 years of housing our people is we own a lot of houses now. And so we've organized that more into a rental component in our business. And today, approximately 50% of the assets, the housing assets that we have, are occupied by our employees, and the other 50% are outside tenants.
And how does one determine? Is it based on seniority, family size, tenure?
Just normal market conditions. If you're interested, come out and put your name on a list, and we manage it like a business. And so there's I think just last time we checked, we were at 98% occupancy. So
wow.
it's been a very vital part of our historical business plans, but it's also a great value contributor to our ongoing operations.
Now, and obviously your relationship with Ventura County, since that's where the biggest part of your assets are, do you work a lot with the leaders in our county? Is there, harmony in that regard? Or is there adversarial relationships, depending on what the needs are, especially with illegal immigration, for example, being a hot topic?
Yeah, no, we try to be very transparent and very open, and we work very enthusiastically with the leadership in the county. And what we've found is by creating and developing dialogues with all constituents of our community, and our community in this case defined as all the leaders in Ventura County and all the people in Ventura County, we've been very successful, I would say, at finding our place in sustaining our agricultural operations, being able to access and support reliable labor for all of our operations, but also managing that very sensitive balance between urban life and agricultural operations. And that dialogue is vital, we believe.
Harold S. Edwards, President and CEO of the Limonera Company, is our guest in studio today. And when we get back, first of all, how about quick contact information for folks, our viewers, if you want to share? Sure.
So please access our website at www.limonera.com or call all of our willing customer service folks at 805-525-5541.
And we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to speak not only about a little bit more of the history of the Limoneira Company, but then what it is today, because there's lots for folks to do that doesn't have to do with harvesting. Maria Sanchez will be right back. Thank you for watching KDTV.com.
Hi, this is Peter Godinez from KDTV.com. I'm here to announce a new show that we're all excited about here called Meet the Boss. Now, this is about all your friends and neighbors who own businesses and being able to support them in their causes and helping them stay healthy. So save this program in your favorites. Make sure you spread it out to your friends. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all here in Ventura County.
Hi, I'm Audrey Johnson. Be safe, be legal. Handsfree805.com. I am so delightful to be here in the studio of KADYTV.com. We're here to share with you and to educate with you what Handsfree805 is all about. You could send a text. You could read your email. You could make a phone call. Just your voice. Handsfree805.com is the latest, hottest technology that I've experienced a long time, especially coming from South America and being here in America with the latest technology. So please give us a call, 805-754-2063. Be safe, be legal.
Hi, welcome back to the Maria Sanchez Show on KDTV.com. Thank you so much for being with us. We are about the county, by the county, and for the county, and thus, if there's anything that you think that we should know about, or if there's good news that you would like to share, or if there's a story that's developing in your community or in your business that we can help get some more information on, that's what we're here for. We're responsive to the needs of our community, and we're happy to do that. And in studio we're continuing our conversation with Harold S. Edwards, President and CEO of the Limoneira Company. Harold, again, thank you for taking the time to be with us.
Thank you, my pleasure.
And the history is fascinating. And when you mentioned in the last segment about the beginnings of oil in 1860, was that not one of the premises of There Will Be Blood with the Daniel Day-Lewis?
If you took the time to watch the movie, there's a beautiful scene. We actually think that took place more towards Valencia and up in Saugus. But there's a great story where Daniel Day-Lewis is sitting on a hill looking out over the land, and he's explaining to his son how he wants to run a pipeline from that location to the port of Port Hueneme. And I wish I'd been a part of it, because that pipe would have run right through our properties, and of course there would have been royalty income, but unfortunately I missed it.
Oh, well. But that's what I was thinking. Wow, that's the Daniel Day-Lewis that would have... and they did give credit to Ventura County pretty much in that scenario in the part of the film.
They did. If you look economically back at the city of Santa Paula was incorporated in 1902. And at the time, it was a hustling, bustling, very prosperous community where the gentlemen walked around in wool suits and the ladies were all elegantly dressed, and it was filled with bars and roughnecks, and it was a happening place. Oil brought tremendous prosperity to the Santa Paula community.
And another obscure fact about Santa Paula, the character from The West Wing, they attributed him to being a Santa Paula relative or native or resident or
That's
something.
right, and that was because of some clever activity by a very astute city manager at the time who saw the opportunity that it was an unnamed citrus-producing location in California. So this clever city manager jumped on the opportunity to suggest that would be Santa Paula, and lo and behold, it evolved into Santa Paula.
I didn't know that, so now we've gained some more information.
That's right. Very clever.
On Santa Paula. Now let's speak some more about the Limoneira Company, and we mentioned before the break that there are opportunities for regular folks, tourists if you will, to come to your, whatever you want to call it, the holdings, and take advantage of some, I don't know what you'd say, tourist
Sure.
treats? Or?
Yeah, a big part of what we're working on at the Limonera Company in Santa Paula and Ventura County is bringing people out to educate them on the way that food is produced and how agricultural operations work, but back to that sensitive balance between urban life and city life and the requirements of agricultural operations. And we feel that it's been to our advantage to open up our doors and invite people out and show them the way that we produce our agricultural products, primarily our citrus, show them the way that they're packaged and run them through our packing houses, and it's a tremendous tour. But as also a way in which we can give our vision for the future as sustainable producers. One thing that is probably worth noting is today 75% of all of our energy is supplied from a clean energy source. We're one of the larger private producers of solar electricity in the state of California today, and today all of our lemon packing and cold storage operations are powered by the sun.
Wonderful.
And so if we have the opportunity to educate kids on and people in general on how food is produced and how we package it, and ultimately also how we market and sell it and take it to the developing parts of the world, and then show how that can be done in balance with our environment and our community by showing the clean energy and explaining why we house employees and why that's so important for an overall community to be prosperous. It plants the right seed at the right time, and it's been very effective for us.
Sustainable is a term that's thrown around a lot, and I don't know that there's any grading of it, but what does it mean to you and your company?
We always say that the most sustainable business practice is to be profitable, because if you're profitable, there's a good chance you can stay in business. So that's sort of job one for us as we work on creating value for our shareholders. But it's really the sustainability of it, our balance with our environment, our community, our workforce, our employees, and all of our operations sort of look at in terms of how can we make sure that they'll be better tomorrow than we find them today. It's a pretty simple principle, but by taking that principle, we believe that in the long term we'll create a lot more value for our shareholders and be around for another 100 years than by really looking at things of how can we exploit them to the benefit of just today in the short term.
Now, would you say that Santa Paula exists because of Limonera? And then most of the folks that are there support the businesses and the services that you and your colleagues and your employees need?
I would say that it's a symbiotic relationship. I wouldn't say that the city is there because of the company. I would say that the company thrives because of the city, and the city thrives because of the company. But if you really go back to the formation of the city of Santa Paula in 1902, which is the year it incorporated, the very first houses were built by the Limonera Company in the town of Santa Paula. The very first subdivision that was developed, called McKevitt Heights, was developed by the principals of the Limonera Company, again to provide housing for the people who were working in the ancillary parts of the agricultural operation. The next major growth and expansion in the community took place in 1950, again driven by the Blanchard family of the Limonera Company. Fast forward to the 1980s and 1990s, and the whole hillside was built and developed by the Teague McKevitt Corporation, another one of the families involved with the Limonera Company, which brings us to present day and now potentially the largest of all the development projects of the city, which is a project which we call East Area 1, which we're within about 6 months of the final entitlements, which will be granted to develop a 30-year build-out of what will amount to 1,500 homes in the city of Santa Paula.
Wow, 1,500. Now, that had to be passed by the citizens, correct?
Correct.
I remember there was some controversy with that as it was getting started.
It was actually interesting because by establishing an open dialogue with all of our constituents in our community and working with each of those constituents to find the right balance, we were able to create a specific plan and a project that ultimately focused on the benefits of the community, which is really the way that responsible development should be thought about. And for me personally, it was very rewarding, but it was an awful lot of fun going through the process. I'm probably the biggest beneficiary because I live in Santa Paula, so I get to be a part of all these benefits that get provided. But what was interesting is that we put all this effort and this energy and this resource into this plan. And then after about 5 years and a considerable amount of financial investment, we took the plan to the voting public in Santa Paula and held our breath. And June 8th, 2008, it went to the polls and it received an 83% approval rating.
Really?
And it's historic, but it's unprecedented in development projects throughout the state, because typically development is something that is frowned upon.
Right.
But this is something that truly and sincerely comes for the benefit of our community. And we're just really excited that we're about to begin to take that next step in Santa Paula.
So 1,500 homes that you call East 1?
East Area 1.
East
yeah.
Area 1. And are they going to be limited to Limoneira folks?
Oh no. This is about the general market and the general population.
And how, so it's whoever wants to purchase can buy?
Correct, yeah, and it's being driven by the market forces. So today when we hear about real estate, everybody winces like, oh, a real estate project. But if you look at the fundamental supply and demand for housing in Ventura County, we're inherently underserved. Mm-hmm. There's more demand than supply. So this will allow us to really provide housing for all elements and all sort of market sectors and segments in our community. There'll be workforce housing, there'll be attached units, there'll be housing for seniors, there'll be housing for executives. We'll really have the full gamut. And the neat thing about the project is that it will be able to be developed over time to meet the demands of the marketplace.
So multi-use, if you will, in terms of what it is. It sounds like a full spectrum of affordability, too.
Correct, and we're really trying to focus on making it a live, walk, work environment. We have approximately 500,000 square feet of commercial property that accompanies the project. And the idea would be to relocate or bring jobs and employment opportunities for people that then could reside in the community and not have to spend all their time commuting, but walking or riding their bike or just rolling down the hill, and in some cases to their job.
Mm-hmm. And now I know Los Angeles has been doing that, with the multi-use that they've been doing, like around the Staples Center. There's businesses underneath, mm-hmm. and then there's residential units up above, as they did in the old days, if you will. Excuse me, on the East Coast, in New York or whatever.
Back to the future.
Yeah, exactly. Contact information, because we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back for our final segment. Harold S. Edwards, President and CEO of the Limoneira Company, is our guest in studio.
Great. Thank you. And our contact information is www.limoneira.com.
And we'll be right back. Thank you so much for watching the Maria Sanchez Show on KDTV.com.
Hi, this is Peter Godinez from KDTV.com. I'm here to announce a new show that we're all excited about here called Meet the Boss. Now, this is about all your friends and neighbors who own businesses and being able to support them in their causes and helping them stay healthy. So save this program in your favorites. Make sure you spread it out to your friends. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all here in Ventura County.
Hi, I'm Audrey Johnson. Be safe, be legal. Handsfree805.com. I am so delightful to be here in the studio of KADYTV.com. We're here to share with you and to educate with you what Handsfree805 is all about. You could send a text. You could read your email. You could make a phone call. Just your voice. Handsfree805.com is the latest, hottest technology that I've experienced a long time, especially coming from South America and being here in America with the latest technology. So please give us a call, 805-754-2063. Be safe, be legal.
Hi, this is Maria Sanchez, and you're watching The Maria Sanchez Show on KDTV.com. Thank you so much for joining us. We're concluding our conversation with President and CEO Harold S. Edwards of the Limonera Company. Harold, again, thank you for taking the time, and the history has been fascinating.
Thank you.
And before we go into a little more details about what to do at the Limonera Company, why don't you explain the pronunciation and the word itself?
Sure. So the name of the company is the Limonera Company, and it's a Portuguese word, and it technically means lemon lands in Portuguese. And the origin of the word were the founders of the company were pioneers, if you will. And at the time, in that point in history, there was great interest in the exploration for gold around the world. And these gentlemen found their way down to the Portuguese-speaking parts of Brazil, picked up this name Limonera, and that's where it came from.
And of course, we think about Ventura County Spanish, and or Hispanic, if
That's
you
right.
will. So, Limonera. And then you mentioned too during the break that we used to say Limonera because it's L-I.
I think we just got lazy.
Yeah. But now you're looking to rebrand
I'm
that.
trying to bring it back. That's right.
And as president and CEO, why don't you tell our viewers how long you've been in this capacity with the Limonera Company?
So this is I'm just starting my 8th year as the chief executive officer of the company.
And the fact that it was your family is something that was new to me, too. As I had mentioned to you, I thought you were just, headhunters went out and looked for somebody to do what it is that you do, but your roots go back. Great-great-grandfather?
My great-great-grandfather was a member of one of the families. Today the company, the ownership of the company is approximately 65% of the company is owned by 5 families, which today are 6 generations deep. So you can imagine there's a lot of us. And then 15% of the company is owned by the Calavo Growers Incorporated, which is the largest avocado marketing company in the United States. And the remaining float, if you will, of our common stock are owned by some institutional investors and then private investors. And I would encourage everybody who's interested in investments to take a look at LMNR, which is our symbol.
Having just gone public in May and rang the bell in August.
That was right. That was my gratuitous plug.
It's all right. And then finally, let's go into what it is that we can do for recreation, if you will, with Limonera.
Great. So there's lots of activities at the ranch which are available today. We offer ranch tours. We offer backcountry Jeep tours. Our properties are located in proximities to some amazing open space and wild canyons that you can jump in the back of a Jeep and get really dusty and have a great time exploring around in these canyons. We offer tours for how we produce our products. We offer tours of our solar facilities. We offer tours of our packing house. Another neat event that we offer is we've gone up into the hillside orchards that we have above some of our properties, and we've poured concrete pads, and we actually are permitted to offer orchard dining experiences, and we can actually do catered events for up to 100 people with elegant sit-down dinners that are tremendous, overlooking the valley, and you can sit up on the hill and look at the ocean and the islands to the west and watch the moon come up in the east, and it's a nice place to enjoy a nice meal.
And then you mentioned, too, that Limonera Company gets involved with the city of Santa Paula on certain things, benefits, charity. You want to go into some of those? The
company's been very active and actually prides itself in its activity philanthropically in our community. And we've been behind and very supportive of some events that have recently become very significant in our community. But to name a few, one event that's worth noting, and the event takes place in September, and I hesitate to say the date, I'm not sure, but if you go on the website you can find out, but it's called Moonlight at the Ranch. And it's a tremendous event which brings in live music and brings in literally some amazing percentages of the finest restaurants throughout Ventura County.
Really?
Who come and offer great food in a beautiful setting at the Limonera Ranch, listening to great music to raise money for public safety, our fire and police departments in Santa Paula, and for the Fire and Police Foundation of Santa Paula. I think we're in our 4th year of operation for that event, and that event raises close to $100,000 annually for the Police and Fire Foundation.
And do you earmark those funds for specific programs or just in general operating?
The foundation works closely with both of the departments to provide a need, which, as we all know, are underfunded or currently underfunded today. And in a small way, we're very proud of being able to help in that activity. Another activity which we're very proud of being involved in is working with the Santa Paula Rotary in providing the services for its annual pumpkin patch, which happens every October for, I think, what amounts to 4 or 5 weekends right around Halloween. Limoneira actually produces pumpkins and then provides those for the Rotary to sell to raise money for their activities, which are philanthropic. And that event raises close to $100,000 annually as well.
So you grow the pumpkins and donate the pumpkins?
Correct.
And then the Rotary sells the pumpkins, and then those proceeds go probably to invest in your community.
That's it.
Reinvest.
Yep, yeah, that's it. So we're very proud of that event. And then another event which is just really taken off, so to speak, sorry for the pun, has been an activity that my wife Carla Edwards runs called the Citrus Classic Balloon Festival. It just went through its 3rd year of operations, and nearly 15,000 people came to Santa Paula to participate in this event. What was really gratifying to me about that event was most of those people came from somewhere else. And most of the people that came had the same experience that I hope they would, and that I share, is every time I come to Santa Paula and look up at the mountains and enjoy the weather and just appreciate how beautiful it is in Santa Paula.
Now, it's a hot air balloon festival, right?
Correct.
And I know a little bit about it because I helped promote it with your wife in its infancy.
Yes.
I believe it was the inaugural year when too. But as I recall, there was an opportunity to take a ride at dawn and dusk, was it? Or
dusk gets a little tricky because the one thing that balloons don't like is wind. And so typically we have a west wind that hits us every afternoon as the marine influence comes in, but the mornings are perfect for flying. Limoneira actually has its own hot air balloon in the shape of a lemon, and we offer balloon rides. So if you go onto our website, again, www.limoneira.com, we'd be happy to take you up in a balloon.
So you can reserve to do that regardless of the event itself?
Correct.
Okay.
And that goes throughout the year. And I think when things are really going and the weather's right, we'll have as many as 5 balloons in the area at a single time.
But the festival itself, people bring their balloons from outside the area, a la the one in New Mexico, right?
Correct. Yeah, I think there were about 30 balloons this year.
And it was a race, as I recall.
It's supposed to be a race. The challenge is if the weather becomes inclement and the fog comes in, they can't fly. But in a way, it's almost better for the festival because they tether and then they go up and down vertically up to 100 feet in the air. You can go and ride in that. But the good part about that is they don't leave. They stay with you.
I was just going to say, so you get to see the beauty of it because they're brightly colored and they're all different. And
exactly.
Is there an entry fee for folks who have balloons to show them or to enter?
Yeah, no, they all come in and they're we actually take care of them. We put them up and we thank them for coming to participate, and then it provides access to everybody if you've never seen a hot air balloon. There was a reason that the Wizard of Oz was the Wizard of Oz because people really like balloons for some reason.
Yeah, my folks took us, it was a Christmas Day present, so it was me and my sibs and all of our kids in one at dawn in the desert.
So you've done it?
Spring. Yes.
Oh,
and
okay, well, come out and see what it looks like flying over a citrus
I can
orchard.
only imagine how gorgeous that must be. Well, Harold, we're almost out of time, so I want to thank you for sharing with us the amazing legacy that the Limoneira Company provides for Ventura County. And you mentioned the other communities that you're involved with, too, but here you were first and foremost, and, and here you live, right?
Exactly.
Also. And again, we're going to flash your contact information on the screen, and it is Harold S. Edwards, who is the president and the CEO of the Limoneira Company. Thank you so much again for your time. And this is Maria Sanchez saying adieu, and we appreciate your eyes and your ears, and thank you so much for watching KDTV.com.